It's really great to have you with me. It's been quite a while since I've done my last video. About 2 weeks ago we had a death in the family. It was quite a sad time for us, but we're comforted with knowing that it was actually my uncle that he knew the Lord. Now today, it's a topic that I believe it's really, it's in season, because it reminds us about how we have a limited time here on earth, and how time is not our own, it belongs to God. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'll let you know just now what I'm going to be talking about. So we need to make sure that we're not just occupying space here on earth, but we're actually doing what God has called each of us to do. We need to be moving towards fulfilling our God-given purpose. I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed in recent years that time seems to be really going faster, accelerating. Even this year, we've already passed 15 September, almost we're on the second half of September, and time seems to be flying more and more. So that just kind of drives the point home that we need to be serious in pursuing our purpose and fulfilling our destiny, because like I said, we don't know when God is going to call us to leave this earth. We need to be cognizant of our time. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to just talk about a few sayings, and then I'll get into exactly what I want to talk about. But I'm sure by the time I've finished these sayings, you probably have figured out what I'm going to be focusing on today. So let's start with the first one, and that's my favorite one. Now, Nike have a payoff line, and they say, just do it. They just say, just do it. So what does that say to each of us? You know what you're supposed to be doing. I know what I should be doing. If you don't, we need to find out what it is, and then we just need to get on with it. And then the second one is, yesterday you said tomorrow. So what does that say to us? It just means then when tomorrow comes, then you say, okay, tomorrow, and then tomorrow, which means you're basically moving, the goalposts. So we shouldn't be doing that. Then the next one is to begin. That's the best way to start. You just have to start. It's like if someone asks you to start a car, you just have to, to turn the ignition and start. You just have to take the first step and continue. The next one is day one, or one day. You decide. You know how we're always saying, one day I want to write a book, one day I want to do this. You need to come to a stage where you say, right, on the 6th of October, I am going to start writing my book. It doesn't matter if I just manage to write one line, but it's going to be my day one. Then the next day will be day 2, or if it's the following week, day 2, or whichever day you pick, day 3, and so forth. And that's how you actually start making progress. The next one is someday isn't any of the days of the week. That's almost the same as the one we talked about just now. So we have Monday to Sunday, and I read somewhere where it was saying some days actually not any of the days of the week. So when you're saying someday I'm going to do this and someday I'm going to do that, which day are you talking about exactly? It gives us something to think about. And then the next one is you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. A lot of people have got big plans and they want to do a lot of things, but you won't be able to do any of those things unless you actually begin, and then you improve, and then you work towards doing those amazing and great things. But the key isn't actually starting. So the next one is, and I'm sure this one, I've seen it a lot of places, a popular one, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So no matter how long the journey might be that you're planning to embark on, or how daunting it may seem, you just need to take the first step. Then you move on to the second step, then the third step, and so forth. And before you know it, you'll be close to those 1,000 miles. Then the next one is resolutions don't work unless you do. So how at the beginning of the year, a lot of us do this, where we write down a long list of resolutions, and I want to do this, I want to do that. And a lot of times we tend to carry over those resolutions to the following year and the following year. And we need to come to a place where we just maybe have a few. It's better just to have 2 or 3, and then you make sure that you focus on those for that year, and you actually don't keep postponing them, and you actually carry them out. And then the next one is actually one of my own quotes. If it's not written down, you're not planning on doing it. I've found in my own life that when I write things down, it tend to do them. So I think it's a good idea to actually write down the things that you know you should do, the things you're planning to do, small things, big things, break them down to doable tasks and activities, and you in the end achieve them. When you write things down, you know, it brings a seriousness to the whole thing, and you are accountable to yourself, and you can actually tick things, and it's lovely to be able to tick things. So I think it's a good way, you know, to make sure that you don't keep pushing things forward and you get them done. And then the last one is this time next year, you'll be glad you started. I think that one is self-explanatory. Just imagine, just picture next year if you start something now. It's really, you know, it's something that gets you excited and something to look forward to, instead of postponing and putting off things. So what am I talking about today? Really, I want to talk about, you know, this thing of delaying and procrastination, basically. And what is that? That's when you keep pushing things forward, you keep postponing and delaying things that you should do now, that you can do now, to a later date, to a later time. That's what it is. I came across another interesting definition, and this one really made me sit up. And it said that procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you tomorrow to do what He gave you to do today. So just think about that. Remember, we said time is not ours, it belongs to God. So we need to be, you know, serious about the things that we should be doing, particularly those things that are connected to us fulfilling our purpose here on earth, and working out, you know, our calling. We really need to be serious about looking at the time factor and making sure that we don't delay and we get started, you know, the things that we should be doing. Some people say, so what if I push things forward? I'll do them eventually. I'll push them forward, I'll eventually do them. So the reason why that's not good, for small things it doesn't matter, honestly, like errands or whatever, but there are some things that are important and you shouldn't push them forward, because these things can, you know, they can actually impact on your life and even on your purpose. Like maybe you're supposed to start a project, maybe you're meant to begin a business, or maybe you're meant to look for someone and maybe you want to ask them for forgiveness, and you know that you really need to find this person, you don't have peace or something. Those kind of things you shouldn't postpone. You need to actually, you know, go ahead with them. So that's one reason. They can actually in the end impact on your purpose. A lot of things postponed, you never know how, you know, they can be impacting what you're supposed to be doing. But the other thing as well is sometimes you postponing things can impact on other people around you. Let me give you an example. It might be a business. Maybe the people that you're saying, okay, when I start, I'm going to take this person, and they're waiting for you so that they can work for you. Okay, that's one example. Another one is maybe ministry. Maybe there's a ministry you're meant to begin. You know God wants you to start it. There's no reason why you're not actually starting it. Maybe God wants to use you to touch other lives, but you haven't begun for some reason. And then another one might be, maybe you're planning to spend quality time with certain people and you just keep putting it off. You never get around to it. I'll give you an example. Some years back, I just made a decision that I wanted to spend quality time, you know, with each of my children, like one-on-one. And so, you know, we were all busy. They had school, I had work. And there came a day when I just said, no, let me get this started and just begin. So with each of them, I made like a date. We planned a date. Like I'll say to one of them, okay, which day are you free? They'll say Thursday. So I said, okay, Thursday, let's meet and have 1 hour of tea or coffee. And I did that with each of them, and it worked out, and we carried that over, you know, over the years. And we did spend quality time then as well as other times, but those specific times we did. So I'm glad that eventually I stopped postponing or procrastinating, and we actually had, you know, that quality time. So those are the reasons you shouldn't postpone. It can impact on your own life, on your purpose, and even on other people's lives, the people around you. So there you have it. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to be continuing next week with part 2, and we'll be chatting more about procrastination, and just looking at maybe, you know, some of the reasons why people actually push things forward and keep delaying. And then we'll also look at the godly perspective. What does God have to say about all this? Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye for today.